my god. There she is. The baby. Brought me all the way to Norway. She's looking great. Even the anodes aren't all that corroded. Super happy with that. They are somewhat corroded though. I'm not sure what to do here. I've got new ones, so we'll leave them on. I painted all these weird spots. Those I painted. That's quite interesting actually. Probably have to patch it up a bit. This doesn't look that good though. This already is how it was. That's good. Yeah. Looking pretty okay, if you ask me. Happy. Happy. It's that time of the year again. This time I'm on the hard. Doing the underwater ship, but also doing the Volvo seal because it is leaking a bit. So I want to have a new one in. Starts with opening up the engine bay. I'm very curious to see what I'm finding here because I've never done it before. So yeah, what can possibly go wrong, huh? Welcome back to another episode of Sailing Windrose. In an upcoming episode, I will tell you about the new plans. I have 3 routes that I am contemplating, and I would love to hear your opinion. But before we can actually do some sailing, first there is the maintenance. Obviously the underwater ship, I will spare you that because that's just painting. But there was also the little issue that my Volvo seal, the seal that is around the shaft and prevents water from getting in via the shaft, was leaking. I did not grease it enough, and it was about 5 years old, so it kind of got to the point where it started dripping. And I don't like that. So I thought, well, I'm on the hard, get it out. But there is also a Vetus Uniflex connected, and there is a prop on the other end of it. And obviously the question is there enough space? But the first question was, can I get it off in the first place? Let's see. I don't know how this works. So my approach is to look it up on the internet and then try to open it, because the point is this seal needs to come off. So that kind of doesn't seem all that difficult, but it needs to go over the prop shaft, so that needs to come off as well. So the prop shaft will probably go in here. This is attached to this in a fixed setting. So I guess I need to open this thing up and then it comes out. So I think these bolts, but don't know. So let's see. So I read the manual, and apparently you have to undo these bolts. At least that's what I can make of the manual. The weird thing is that they put in 2, 4, 6 of them, and in manual when you unmount them they only show 3. Well, I don't have 3 anywhere, so that's not very helpful. I unmounted them. I'm gonna see if this now, it seems loosely, so I'm gonna put it in gear and then we're gonna turn the prop and see if I can actually, well, move it in a sensible way. So, interesting thought, I just opened it, but obviously that means that if I need to get the prop off, because there's not enough play for the seal, I might be some sort of screwed. Although I could maybe get off the whole thing, and that would leave me with 13 centimeters. Let's see how much space I have outside actually, and then whether or not I need to get the prop off, because then if it's loose, there's obviously will be harder to turn it. But so this would be 10-ish. This obviously can go off. Let's first see what happens now. Well, quite a fun fact: if you have a boat with a rudder on a skag, you cannot just indefinitely slide out the prop shaft because the skag is there. In my case, I was in doubt whether or not it would be enough, so I figured let's first open the Vetus Uniflex and then see. And I kind of got lucky because I found the manual online, or at least a picture of how to disconnect it. Where would I be without the bloody internet? Apparently the other bolts that are there to turn into the other button, then it pops off. That's good. I love you, internet. This video is going to be especially for those that are unaware how this works. So these Vetus guys know their papa hammers, as we say, because I wanted to put in those bolts, but they're M8 and it needs M10. So I think I have seen more than once that they put in these bolts and it killed the thread. So, but now there are 3 M10 bolts in it, so let's see what happens if I start putting some pressure on it. Are you shitting me? Is it really this easy? If that is the case, then you Vetus guys, you bloody rock. Oh, look at that. It seems to be off. Really? It was that easy. Now, my main question is, what actually is coming off where? It actually seems the entire axis is going backwards now. So I'll go outside and try what happens if I pull the prop. High anticipation of what's coming next. Remember, I have to get off the boat via the ladder and then go to the prop and start wiggling it and see what happens. Okay, that looks good, except for the fact that I had not expected there to be this much prop, because this goes all the way in there, which is nice, but not what I expected. So it means I need to get the prop off as well. a dull moment, I guess. Okay, so I now need to get off this and this, so it can go back further, all the way in here, I guess. Although I don't know how deep this hole is, I think it will be pretty okay. So let's see if I can get the prop off. Never a dull moment here. In my younger days, I have been a dive instructor, and there was a very valuable lesson, and it was stop, think, and then do. So before trying to get the prop off, I thought a little harder, and I thought, wait a minute, what if? Just had an insight before I get the prop off. Maybe there is enough room if I get the flexible joint off. So that depends a little bit on how far the prop shaft is in there. So let's see if I can actually see that. Because the new seal, which is here, should fit. I mean, this is interesting, by the way, to see this on the inside. So there is rubber, which is around the prop. This is for the shaft, and then these are these seals, which are really thin. And now I did some grease in there the other day. I did it there. I think you need to do it all way deeper. So I'll read the instruction manual, but for those who want to know, you need to kind of get in. Let me make that a bit more exact. Kind of need to go in there for about, assume you want to touch the seal in the back, like a proper 3.5 centimeter. 3-ish centimeter. I thought this was quite insightful. If you actually grease that rubber, you need about 4 centimeters to sort of slide in or push it inwards, which is quite a bit actually. Well, it was a job about centimeters in any case, because I was wondering how much prop shaft is there actually left in this Uniflex thing. This is the end. That's really not a lot. This is the end. My finger is connected to the seal. It's less than a centimeter. Okay. So if I would be able to get the joint off, it should be okay. It should be you're able to turn around, right? There is a lot of space. The main question is, which part am I going to get off? Is this end? Because that probably is just connected to that. This is just a joint. If I take this off, do I not get off the entire clutch? In order to slide it off, I wanted to make sure that it would go straight. So I first reconnected the prop shaft again and then unscrewed the final bolts. That's looking promising, I would say. Let's see if indeed it'll give way when I start undoing bolts. Uh-oh. There is a little... It's most probably... Oh shit. Really? Sort of successful. It's getting off, but it's not getting out of the way yet. And for that I had to disconnect the connector thing. So to do that, you need to kind of hold the engine from turning around. And I found a nice little application for that on the flywheel in the front, where there are 3 bolts that I had never used before. Now I know where they are for. This actually works. I'm going to show you the secret. How to do this. Yes! Rock me Amadeus. It's free. Free as a bird. Yes. Now let me show you, because obviously you need to stop the engine. I put it in gear, but obviously you pull it right through its gears. So the solution, and I never figured I would ever need it, I put in 3 bolts right over there. 1, 2, 3. And then you can jam this in there in a nice way. It's not really jamming, it's more like gently putting it there, and it locks. Now the $1 million question is, will it come off? No. I expect it to come off, but expect the unexpected, right? That's an idiot. Oh, that's already interesting. I see 1 bolt coming off undone. Ah, that's interesting. Not what you want, by the way. Now the question is, can I still undo these? That's 1. This is number 4. That means this should come off. Now the question is, can it get off? Yeah, oh my lord, I got it. I got it. And it's such a simple construct, actually. I don't know what about you, but I'm surprised more by the minute how easy this is going. This thing seems to be sort of hand tight. Actually, it seems to move. It's just like pretty bloody amazing. You have to see it to believe it. There it is. I am stunned. How does it come off this easy? Oh, Vetus. This product rocks, man. Truly. And let's just see if I could be able to be, yes, it just pops on. Oh dear. Oh, this is 1 million. Huge leap for me, small step for humanity, but I did it, which made me very happy. Now there was just the next question, and that is, how easy is the old Volvo seal coming off? Or is it not coming off without a little bit of persuasion tactics, maybe? just assume that you have to get it all the way out because, or maybe, oh yeah, is it already? Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! Like really? It just slid off! Oh! Drama! Drama! It just slid off. Like a breeze. Oh. Will it just come off like that? Are you shitting me? It did. Haha. There you go. Now let's have a look. Oh. Oh. Water. Let's have a look at these seals. Yeah, they look worn. Not completely gone, but they're not that nice. And this actually shows I put in some grease, and some people, especially the ones that are named Thijs, will now see that it got to the first ring. You see the grease there. It did not get to the second ring. Another interesting thing actually is this is not a Volvo seal. That in hindsight was actually not all that difficult. There is another fun fact. They always say if you put these boats into the water, you need to squeeze its balls. Sorry for the words. And I was actually squeezing it like this, but it didn't do anything. And now I see why, because this is connected to the prop shaft almost completely, which means you cannot squeeze that, but you can squeeze the end of it there, which also makes sense because in this area where my thumb is the seal. So that makes a lot more sense. For just 200 euros of plastic. They say put in another 1,000, so this was cheap actually. Brilliant. Okay. The next step is that the prop shaft is there. It's cleaned, and I cleaned the part where it needs to connect to as well. Degreased it with white spirit after I did it with some Shape Shop. So now the next step is to slide it on, and for it you have to put in this orange bit. It opens it up and put a little bit of grease over there, just a little bit. Now it should slide on fairly easy. On this one I actually have a comment, because I still don't know why you're not supposed to grease the seal when you're sliding it on. Makes quite a lot of sense to me, but I was just following the manual and they said don't do it. So I said okay, I won't do it. But I still don't get it. Volvo? It does. There it goes. Alright. Move it all the way up here. It's easy for you tours. And now my first question is, would it actually fit over there? I expect it does, but let's see. Yeah, that slides on perfectly. So let's just keep it like this, because the next step is that I have to put back the prop shaft. It's degreased. Now let's see if I can just slide this thing on. I would say sort of. things you can do to make your life easier if you are doing this. One, wetten the prop shaft a little bit from the outside in. This helps to just guide the rubber a little bit, especially where the shaft goes through the hole, because that's rubber on iron in my case, which makes it squeaky and just gives more effort to do it. The second thing is that I did not mark how far the shaft was in or out, because I just figured it would clunk, get to a certain point and would be there, but in my case it wasn't. So when I pushed it back in, I did not push it in far enough, which is not an issue because it connects, but it made a different noise. So before you disconnect it, mark the point where the shaft is when it is in that state, so that if you get it out and you push it back in, then you actually know how far to push it back in. Having that said, it was just a matter of torquing up all the bolts to the right specs. And yes, I first hand tightened them, and I did it with like my hand to get it sort of tight, and then I started torquing them up. Torque it up at 23 Newton meter. There we go, tick tick. 6 time lucky. It took me 6 times to torque it up, and it makes sort of sense because this obviously moves in, and by doing that it gets more and more tight. So, and these are now tightened because I used it to turn it, but this still needs to be tightened. So let me do exactly that, and I should be good to go. But in the end it was done, and I could focus my attention again to finishing the seal. So there is a metal plate that actually needs to go in there. I guess like this. It's even on both sides now. Yeah. Let's just put the bolts in. Don't drop them. Don't drop them. Oh, that's fun. Volvo, it doesn't leave a lot of room to do this, huh? You might make the bolts like 1 millimeter longer. Jesus. Why is it always in weird places? Come on. Grip. Ouch. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. Improve life, work smarter, not harder. Maybe it works. Let me give this a try. Oh, I just got sort of lucky here. This kind of automatically stays in place. I just need to see if I can. Oh, would this work? That would be lovely. Yes, it works. That's funny. This fits. Oh yeah. Ah, that's on there. Definitely on there. Oh. Okay, that's looking good. I'm not reading the manual. So that's closed. You need to get the cap out, and then you need to put some grease in, which is 1 square centimeter. I really don't know how much that is actually, but let's see. Ooh, it came off. No way back now. No way back now. We're there. It's on. Just put the grease in. I still don't know how much 1 square centimeter is, but that feels like a lot actually. 1 square centimeter. Strangely enough, I don't have any footage of the greasing. I do know that this tube, to me, looks like it is missing 1 square centimeter of grease. So I hope it's okay. And funnily enough, here's also the nice little orange thingy I got out. So the only thing that remained was to just marvel at its beauty and contemplate how this became a success, which I think it was, because we're still floating. Well, it's all bolted up, so should be good to go. Whew, that was intense. One thing I did do, by the way, is I added some grease to the seal, but that you saw, and I added some water to the prop, and that really helps. So if there is a little bit of water in it, it's not rubber on iron, which makes it super. So yeah, so that's good. I think this is it. As mentioned, I had to paint the underwater ship as well, check the anodes, and I added markers to the anchor chain because I did not have that. It was a bit hard for me to see how much chain was out. Change that. And I also checked, obviously, if it still worked on the winch and if it would go into the anchor box. Everything was okay, so that was good. And even better, Jacco was willing to sail back with me, and he joined me in Marina Muiderzand. Ah, lekker bakje koffie.
Ja.
Oh. There she goes again. That's it, boys and girls. Volvo seal replacement with a Vetus Uniflex joint to the engine. How to get it off, how to get it on, and off and on again. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If you have a comment, feel free to leave it as well. And don't forget to hit subscribe, because in one of the upcoming videos, I'm going to share the plan for 2025 with you, because I'm planning a new trip, and it's going to be longer, bigger, and bolder. It's not going to be a trip around the Atlantic, but I will share 3 options with you, and I would love to hear your opinion on it. So hit subscribe. Hope to see you next time. And 2023, what a year it's been. That time of the year again, boys and girls. Winter is on the horizon. Rain, it's been raining it for every day in October, if you ask me. It's horrible. My lock was broken, so I had to stay in another place, but we're going back home. Winter season after a year sailing to Norway. Oh, my dear, what a lovely machine it is. Thank you for this year, and let's see what projects we can do. What a year it has been.
Als we dat voornoemen.
Ja, dat is ook een goede opmerking.
Dat wil je helemaal niet horen, hè, als je die boodschap hebt.